David, you also make the point there were certain things you didn't hear. What are those things you didn't hear, and why are they important?
Just two things, or let me say three, but one of them, in my view, is embedded in some of the points. I think, particularly point 7, if I recall very well, or 7 or 8, I will check. So that one has to do with a specific mention of two of his flagship policies, the big push and the 24-hour economy. So those ones I was expecting to hear specifically what the rollout is, but as I said, I believe they are embedded in the other parts. But the two other ones that I expected to hear were the anchors of structural changes that will be made, because those structural changes is what keeps us going back to the IMF every 7 years approximately. And I hope we won't go back to IMF. I mean, I disagree with Bopping when it comes to the issue of whether we are going for compulsion or policy approach. I'm more for the policy approach. But I would rather want to see the structural changes that also lead to the discipline and the self-discipline instead of waiting to be disciplined by IMF. The other one that is always missing from our conversation is what we spoke about when I came to your studio. What is it we are going to do to change our mindset and our attitudes? And I'm talking about the things that drive the economy. I mean, for example, is it this morning or yesterday I heard on your studios about whether transport fares should be reduced or should not be reduced, whether the dollar comes down. I mean, the dollar has come down significantly, but inflation is not trending down as fast as the dollar is coming down. Even though when it is going up, we blame it for inflation. It's an attitudinal issue of how we buy and sell as a people. Those fundamental changes I would have liked to hear, but I mean, you can't hear everything.
So let's get to the structural changes that you talk about. I mean, walk us through what kinds of changes are you looking forward to? What kind of changes were you expecting the president to talk about?
I wasn't expecting him to talk about all the structural changes. What I was saying is that we always talk about the fundamental changes we need to make in the economy. So, for example, the overdependence on imports. And if you look at his comments about wanting to boost exports and light manufacturing, then it means that probably it may lead to a lesser dependency on imports. But I didn't get those details, so I expect probably businessmen should take it up from there. The question as to the dollar, I mean, it's good to have the dollar trend down. I did hear the governor talk about the need for stability, which is good. I have a certain fear. If the dollar goes below a certain point, probably it may lead to a dumping of the dollar and to those financial institutions who hold large dollar assets. So probably a point at which we know we stabilize is one of the things to look at. Those are fundamental, some of the fundamental things that I expect